Hello and welcome to NewPod. A phone can show hundreds of contacts, yet on a difficult evening, we may not know whom to text. On the other hand, one sincere message can make a heavy moment feel a little easier to breathe through. This episode looks at a quiet force in daily life. Social connection matters for mental health. It is not a magic answer, nor is it a demand to meet more people. It is support that can help us move through stress, put words to our experience, and avoid carrying everything in silence.
Yes, and the situation is very ordinary. We come home after a stressful day. We put down our things. We keep thinking about a comment, a worry, or a difficult decision. Nothing may be visible from the outside. At times like these, a reliable presence can make a real difference. It does not remove the problem. It creates space where the problem no longer takes up everything. That is the role of connection we will explore, with nuance, because mental health never rests on a single factor.
Exactly. Our inner state depends on personal, family, social, and structural factors. There is our history. There is our family setting. There are living conditions, work, available resources, and the place society gives each person. Saying that social connection protects us does not mean explaining every struggle as a lack of friends. That would be too simple and often guilt-inducing. Relationships are one important protective factor among many. They can support us. They cannot control everything that happens to us. Among these supports, staying in touch with trusted people has special value. The World Health Organization recommends it when stress rises. It also advises sharing our concerns. That may sound obvious. Yet under pressure, we may do the opposite. We withdraw. We wait until we feel better before replying. We think we need a clear, coherent account of what we are going through. But a few simple words can already open a path toward someone else.
Wait, sharing our concerns does not mean telling everything. We can simply say the day was hard. We can name a worry without giving every detail. We can even say the words are not there yet. Contact does not require a perfect explanation. It can start with a modest sentence. For example, I need to talk for 10 minutes. Or, I am going through a lot and would like some company. Keeping it simple can make the request easier for us to make and easier for the other person to understand.
And the word trust is essential. It does not automatically mean the person who seems closest on paper. A trusted person is someone with whom we can be a little more honest, without immediately fearing ridicule, dismissal, or misuse of what we share. Trust may be old. It can also develop gradually. We open up a little. We observe the response. We adjust. This caution is not a relationship flaw. It can be a healthy way to protect our privacy. Now we need to distinguish social presence from a sense of connection. Being surrounded by people does not guarantee feeling understood. We can spend a day with coworkers, past neighbors, answer messages, and still feel a great distance. The number of conversations says nothing about their depth. A crowded room can even sharpen the disconnect if we feel we must play a role. Protection does not come simply from having people around. It comes from the possibility of a relationship where something real can be shared. The reverse is also true. Living alone does not necessarily mean being isolated. Someone may enjoy their home, their routine, and time alone while still having reliable connections. They know whom to call. They attend a regular activity. They share some meals or maintain meaningful exchanges. Chosen solitude can even provide rest. It becomes something else when the lack of connection is unwanted, lasting, and painful. So a living arrangement alone cannot describe someone's inner experience.
This nuance also relieves people who do not enjoy large groups. There is no universal quota for outings or conversations. Some people recharge with a few chosen contacts. Others need a wider social network. Needs can change over time. After an intense week, quiet may be precious. During a transition, more company can feel reassuring. The goal is not to match an image of a successful social life. It is to identify the connections that truly feel good.
That brings us to 3 guideposts: quality, safety, and reciprocity. Quality is defined less by a relationship status than by what it allows. After a conversation, we may feel welcomed, respected, or simply less tense inside. A good relationship is not one without disagreement. It makes room for differences. It does not demand that we always feel well. It also lets us say we have no energy, without having to defend that limit at length.
Safety is about what happens when we show vulnerability. Are our words treated with respect? Are our boundaries heard? Can we change our mind or stop a discussion? Do we feel free not to answer right away? A safe relationship is not perfect. Missteps can happen. but adjustments remain possible. An apology can be accepted. A boundary is not treated as an attack. This safety gives the connection a stability that helps more than contact frequency alone.
Then comes reciprocity. It does not mean each person gives exactly the same thing at the same time. During a difficult period, one person may receive more. Later, the balance can shift. Reciprocity mainly means that both people's needs matter. Attention does not always flow in one direction. Each person can sometimes speak, listen, offer, or decline. A supportive bond does not permanently turn one person into a rescuer and the other into a problem to manage. In practical terms, a supportive relationship first allows us to talk and listen. Talking can help organize what felt confusing. Simply describing a situation may reveal what matters most. Listening, meanwhile, is not about preparing an immediate solution. It means staying present enough to follow what the other person is trying to say. We can rephrase. We can check that we understood. We can also leave some silence. That silence is not empty when it tells the person they do not need to rush.
And sometimes, the best listening starts with one question. Does the person want an ear, an idea, or practical help? Between people who are close, we can ask without turning the conversation into a procedure. One sentence is enough. I can listen or think it through with you, whichever helps. This avoids a familiar mismatch. One person speaks to be heard. The other offers 5 solutions. Both mean well, but neither leaves feeling truly met.
Connection also lets us ask for practical help. When stress rises, a vague request can feel enormous, both to the person asking and the person receiving it. Limited help is often easier to consider. Review a message. Come to an appointment. Stay on the phone during a task. Walk together for half an hour. Support then becomes visible and manageable. And if the other person cannot help, their refusal does not necessarily mean a lack of care. They may simply be protecting their own resources.
That is why respecting boundaries is a full part of support. A boundary does not erase a connection. It gives it a lasting shape. We can say we are available now, but not all evening. We can suggest another time. We can acknowledge that the subject is more than we know how to carry. On the other side, we can hear that limit without deciding we are a burden. Of course, a refusal can disappoint, but a safe enough relationship also makes room for that disappointment, without threats or pressure.
Now for practical application. Choose one specific action, small enough to become real. Do not try to rebuild your entire social life in a week. A first step could be sending a sincere message. It does not need to be long. Something like, I was thinking of you and would like to reconnect. Or, my week is difficult and talking would help. Sincerity does not require revealing everything. It means bringing our words a little closer to what we truly want. A second action is suggesting a walk. Walking side by side can make a conversation feel less direct. The body is moving. We do not need to keep looking at each other. Silences fit naturally into the route, and the meeting has an easy-to-understand beginning and end. A walk is not required, of course. It mainly illustrates an idea. Contact can grow around a simple activity. This can reduce the pressure to produce a deep conversation from beginning to end.
A third possibility is joining a regular activity. Regularity changes a great deal. We do not have to create a new occasion every time. The same faces become familiar. Conversations can grow without being rushed. The activity already provides a shared topic. It may be something we enjoy or want to discover. The goal is not to find a confidant immediately. It is to establish continuity. Some relationships grow precisely through these ordinary, repeated meetings, without any spectacular moment.
The fourth action returns to what we discussed. Clearly ask for limited help. The word limited is reassuring. It defines the request. I need you to listen for 10 minutes. Could you come with me for this small task? Would you be free for coffee this week? The person knows what is expected and can answer honestly. The request feels lighter than silently hoping they will guess. It also reduces the risk of building resentment over help that was never requested.
One common phrase shows this difference well. We should get together. It often expresses genuine affection, but it remains up in the air. Nobody knows who will follow up, when, or for how long. A week passes, then a month. The good intention never becomes a meeting. Replace it with a suggestion that includes a day and a duration. For example, I am free Wednesday for a 30-minute walk. That framework makes the answer simple. Yes, no, or another suggestion.
Moving from vague to specific does not make a relationship cold. On the contrary, it helps a wish take shape. Naming a duration can make it easier to accept when schedules are full. It prevents us from imagining an entire evening. A specific day lets us truly check our availability. If that day does not work, the other person can suggest another. A concrete proposal forces no one. It creates a foothold. The connection leaves the world of good intentions and gently enters daily life. Social connection is also built in the other direction. We can offer our presence. That may mean listening without interrupting, sending a message after an important day, offering specific help, remembering a detail someone shared. Presence does not need to be impressive. Its reliability and respect make it valuable. We can be there without having the right words. Simply acknowledging the difficulty may be enough. A relationship also grows through these quiet gestures, which show the other person that they are not invisible.
But offering presence does not mean becoming responsible for solving every problem. This is a major boundary. We can support without taking control. Listen without promising everything will be fine. Help with one point without carrying the whole situation. The urge to rescue may come from affection or concern, yet it often exhausts the helper. It can also reduce the other person's place in their own decisions. Healthy presence walks beside someone. It does not replace them in their own life.
Exactly. We can say, I am here to listen now. We can also say, I care about you, but I do not know how to solve this. Both sentences can coexist. Caring does not require having a solution. Recognizing our limits prevents impossible promises. It protects the relationship from exhaustion and frustration. Sometimes the best help is encouraging the right kind of outside support while remaining a friend. A loved one keeps their role as a loved one. They do not have to become the entire support system. Now to some important limits. Lasting, painful loneliness deserves to be taken seriously. Small relational steps can help, but they are not always enough. When loneliness settles in and causes pain, help from a professional or local organization may become necessary. This is not a failure to create connection. It is a way to add support when usual resources no longer respond well enough. Guidance can help put the experience into words and identify options suited to the situation.
Yes, and a local organization can provide structure when taking individual initiative feels too difficult. The key is not to turn suffering into a personal fault. Loneliness can grow through circumstances, losses, transitions, or a lack of safe opportunities. Seeking support opens another door. It does not reduce the value of ordinary relationships. The two can complement each other. Professional or local support does not necessarily replace loved ones, and loved ones cannot always replace that support.
Another essential limit: a dangerous relationship does not become protective simply because it keeps us from being alone. Someone's presence is not good in itself when it comes with fear, control, threats, or disregard for boundaries. Staying in a dangerous relationship is not the price of maintaining connection. Here again, quality and safety matter more than quantity. Leaving isolation does not mean accepting any kind of closeness. A protective relationship must leave room for dignity and safety.
That reminder matters, because fear of being alone can blur our judgment. A relationship may include pleasant moments and still be dangerous. It can feel like company while causing deep harm. Simply being close to someone guarantees nothing. When safety is missing, seeking outside support can be a protective step. That support may come from a reliable person, a professional, or a local organization. The priority is not preserving the appearance of a bond. It is protecting the person.
Putting it all together, social connection protects us most when it is concrete, safe, and reciprocal. It is not measured by the number of names in a phone. We see it in the ability to speak, listen, ask, refuse, and return. It considers each person's context and limits. It does not erase other mental health factors. It offers something to lean on. Sometimes a conversation. Sometimes a walk. Sometimes a bridge to more suitable help.
For this week, here is one simple invitation. Identify one person with whom you can create concrete contact. It does not need to be the ideal relationship or a major disclosure. Just someone safe enough for a sincere message, a walk, a brief call, or a limited request. Then give that contact a clear shape, a day, a duration, a clear intention. This is not another obligation. It simply offers a way to bring some movement where connection had remained vague.
We can hold on to this idea without rushing. Mental health develops at the intersection of many factors. Among them, quality relationships can bring listening, help, and a sense of safety. Receiving matters. Offering presence matters too, without making ourselves responsible for solving everything. When loneliness becomes lasting and painful, or a relationship puts us in danger, other forms of support are legitimate. Protective connection does not trap us. It opens doors. Thank you for sharing this moment with us on NewPod. Take care of your connections at your own pace.